What's up, YouTube? Today, welcome to another video, and we're going to talk about what are the things that you don't need to do. A mistake that you should not make if you are planning on buying a house. You need to make sure you check all these boxes before you do buy a house, because if you don't, you're gonna end up in underwater on your home, or you can end up being on foreclosure on your home, right? So make sure you stay tuned in till the end of the video, because this is very important to not make these kind of mistakes, because a lot of people make them, and that's how you see a lot of foreclosure homes that are for sale. And that is very sad, because nobody ever taught this or talk about this. So the first thing you do when you are buying a house, you need to make sure you are not in debt at all. You need to make sure all your credit cards are paid off. You need to make sure all your personal loans are paid off. You need to make sure that also you have a good amount of money saved up, right? They're going to tell you to pay it off anyways. So now you're going to be rushing around trying to borrow money to pay it off. Friends and family members. How do I know? Because one time I bought a house with my parents, which was that was also a big mistake. I'm going to talk about this later. But you need to make sure you don't have no debt. Like, you cannot have no debt at all, right? And I know some people still buy a house even though they have student loan debt. It doesn't make no sense, man. So if you have a student loan debt, you need to pay off first. It is a very good idea that you take that out of the way, have a good amount of savings, and then buy a house, right? Make sure you have your at least 6 to 12 month emergency. Why is this very important? Because when you buy a house and you just move in, I guarantee you there's always to be something wrong with the house. Even though you hire an inspection to come check everything is fine, those guys, I don't know, I feel like some of them don't do that much good a job. They just want to get paid, and they're not cheap, but you still find something that is broken. So imagine you're moving in a house and the AC just go out. Now you need $6,000 to fix it or more. So it is a very, very huge that you have 6 to 12 month emergency when you buy the house. So that is on top of your down payment on the home, on top of your closing costs on the home, because a lot of people do not speak about this, right? When you are buying a home, you do not only save up for down payment, you need to save up also for a closing cost, right? This is very huge. And the other thing I notice people make a mistake of is that they go impulsively buying a house. So before you buy a house, you need to make sure you are buying a house in a neighborhood that fits within your lifestyle. Don't go in an unsafe neighborhood if you don't have to do so. Don't go because the house is cheap. Just because the house is cheap doesn't mean you can just buy it, or doesn't mean you can afford it. You know, sometimes they are cheap for a reason. Sometimes a lot of stuff in the house that have a wrong issue with it, or sometimes that neighborhood, it is not a great environment. When you buy a house knowing that you are going to have a family, like kids, or you already have kids, you need to make sure you are in a very safe environment around your kids, because they need to grow in a place that is safe, right? Also, the school district and location is very important if you plan on having a family. Make sure they are in a school district that is safe. Make sure they are in a school district that is disciplined, because this can end up, just because your body was cheap, and the kids can end up growing to be ruined. You could be a good kid, and then because of the neighborhood you moved in, there's bad kids in that neighborhood, and then they can influence your kids to not become bad, you know, not make good choices. This is why whenever they say real estate, the number one thing that comes first is location, location, and location. So this is huge. Make sure that you always check the location before you buy. The other thing, you feel pressure to buy a home because you've seen your friend are buying a home, right? Your friend are buying a home, and now you feel pressure to buy a home, even though you don't make enough money to be able able to afford a home, you're gonna wanna buy a home, right? And the real estate agent, he don't care about your finance. Real estate, they don't care about your finance. You make $12 an hour, they will make it work for you. They're gonna find you a home that is within your budget, but not within what you mean. They're gonna find a location that work in their favor, but that do not work in your favor. This is why whenever you buy a home, you need to make sure you take your time. Don't rush it. Don't say, oh, I don't want to pay rent anymore, or rent, they just throwing money away. That's nonsense. That's not true. Renting is actually a very good thing. It's not a bad thing at all. It's only a bad thing when you are renting and the rest of money just throwing on and spending it. But if you are renting and you are saving money aside for buying a house, or you are investing some of the money in investment, that is when renting is beneficial. But renting is not beneficial when all you do, you get paid and pay rent and you spend the rest of the money you could invest with or save for a down payment on a home, on a future home. That is when it's bad. But very, very important, guys, that you make sure you're paying off your debt, right? Paying off your personal loan, your credit card debt, your medical bill debt, your student loan debt, right? And you're gonna have at least 10 to 20% down payment on a home. Do not put zero down. That is a huge mistake, guys. Everyone that puts 0% down, you know what's gonna happen. They are more likely to get foreclosed on a house. It is a big mistake people make. While you have no business of buying a house with 0% down. You are not ready. You are not ready at all. So make sure you have at least 10 to 20% down of that home. I don't know, everybody down payment is different because it depends on the home price. So make sure you and your partner, or if it's you as yourself, make sure you know what's the budget for your home. Make sure you know that, and then save up 10 to 20%. Ideally, it would be nice if you can save up to 20% because it will put you far more ahead than other people. Also, if you pay 20% down payment, it is very on your advantage because you do not have to pay PMI, right? PMI is a private mortgage insurance. That's something that you need to pay on because you did not save enough, and that do not benefit you at all. That only benefit the bank. That's why it's a good idea. Take your time to save up 20%, ideally. But if you're not rush, 10% is fine. But you're gonna have to pay PMI. It's a private mortgage insurance. What does it do? It does not benefit you. It just benefit the bank. It protect the bank, just in case you cannot pay the mortgage. That's what it do. That's why it's a very good idea always to save up for 20%. Very, very important. But I think I covered all the things that you should not be doing when you're buying a house. If there was an additional that I forget, guys, please let me know down in the comment. Let's talk about this because this is huge. Don't be pressured. Don't be pressured to buy a house just because it's beautiful. That's because it's nice. If you are not ready, you are not ready. Just say no to your realtor. Say, hey, I'm not ready. I am still in preparation to buy a house. I will contact you when I'm ready, because this realtor do not literally care about your finance. You can buy a house today and get foreclosure within 90 days because you couldn't afford it. So don't make this huge mistake. You know, do not buy a house to impress anybody. You are buying a house for your own goods, right? So thank you for staying and tuning in and listening to me. Please like and subscribe, share with a family member who would like to hear this, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace, guys.